Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 2 of the No Punt Intended podcast here on Entertainment Buddha. Be sure to check us out online at www.entertainmentbuddha.com. We make you a better geek, one post at a time. My name is Nick Hershey. I'm a writer for Entertainment Buddha. And with me, as always, is the number nerd himself, Mr. Justin Ludwig.
Yeah, the same guy that likes to stick to tradition, but nobody will ever know what I'm actually referring to right this second. Anyway.
Well, do you want to elaborate or no?
No.
Okay.
I'll just leave it as an in-joke. That's
All
it.
right.
I'll elaborate by saying that tonight I was going to go get some of the chocolate fudge shortbread cookies, and instead what caught my eye was a limited edition pumpkin and cream cheese shortbread cookie.
Interesting.
So I bought those.
Well,
and I bought Juji fruits.
And it's limited edition, so you have to get it now or, forever regret yourself.
I know, it's like the McRib. You only have a short window, so you get 6 in one weekend.
How often or
I did that.
how long is the McRib in stores when they have it available?
It's usually like a month.
A month.
But the tricky thing is that it's become regions, like small region specific. I don't mean like the Northeast. I mean like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, the middle of the state.
Gotcha.
It turns out Pittsburgh does have them.
Well, lucky for you.
I know. Why
So
did you
what's-
move? McRibs.
Give me an approximate if you don't have an exact number of McRibs you've eaten in one
6.
cycle.
Oh, ever? I don't know.
Like over the course of the time they were available, like if they're available for a month, what's the most you've eaten in a month's availability time?
12?
12.
I had 6 this last weekend, so
Just last weekend.
yeah, I
All
had
right.
2 each day. Just barrel through.
You're already on pace for quite a run here.
If we extrapolate, if we drag this out,
Exactly. When did they come back to McDonald's? Just this weekend?
when did they come back? When I was on the bus getting ready to get pizza for Thursday Night Football, and then I saw the marquee said limited time McRibs, and my
All right.
whole plan went down. No, I still got pizza, but I just had to rearrange everything after that.
All right. Well, at least you have a smartphone with a calendar, so you can kind of plan out your course of action when it comes to food preparation.
Make a note in your Newton.
Yeah.
Eat McRibs.
All right. Let's review our picks from last week, shall we?
Let's review my picks. The chocolate shortbread cookie. Oh, anyway. So week 1, I won. 8-7-1 versus your 6-8-1.
I took a couple chances. I'll admit it.
Well, there were some tricky ones.
Yeah,
for
and
example,
we
we both got burned on Seattle and Tampa. Let's see where we diverged. You got burned on the Teddy Bridgewater experience.
Also Houston
In Houston.
and
And
Jacksonville.
we both pushed the Pats.
Yeah, Jacksonville
What did you do,
hurt me, and
Yeah,
what else was there?
I think that was it.
Yeah.
You won San Diego.
Yes. Yeah.
That was nope, that was it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Not good start for you. An okay start for me. Hopefully this week I'll be able to catch up a little bit to you and not get too far behind too early like some football teams did on Sunday or Monday night, depending on what you were watching. I don't know about you, but I felt like there was a lot of injuries this weekend. I mean, I was watching a majority of the games, and I felt like every screen at some point had somebody laying on the ground or getting carted off, or I mean, I know Des Bryant is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Terrell Suggs for Baltimore is out for the season.
Right. It seemed like there were a lot of high-profile injuries, at least.
Reggie Bush got hurt during last night's game. I mean, it was just kind of all over the place. So
Yeah, and that really sucks because I thought about picking Carlos Hyde in my fantasy league, and Of course, now I'm an idiot.
Well, hindsight's 2020.
Hindsight's 20. No, it's better than 2020 because 2020 is you can see 20 feet what's 20 feet away, but like I have 2010 vision, and that's better than 2020.
All right.
So it's
hindsight's 2010.
I know. I'm armchair quarterbacking with a tall, cool fruit barrel.
You're trying to change the
flavor of the night is blue. That's the fruit punch.
The fruit punch. All right.
Tropical punch. Sorry.
What surprised you this week?
What surprised me? I'm surprised that Seattle lost. I think we all were. That overtime was a little weird.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that onside kick. Apparently, that was not called by Pete Carroll. Apparently, but yeah, the Rams. I mean, the Rams defense, that front line is very, very good. And
I know, but still, even 31 points in regulation against Seattle, that's...
Right. Yeah, and I mean,
quite a feat.
When you think about it, the Rams used Tavon Austin in the right way. They gave him rushes, they gave him, screen passes. He got really involved, which is what he needs to do. And obviously, he had that punt return for a touchdown, which was huge. But yeah, I didn't expect St. Louis to win like they did.
Or at all.
Or at all, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, for Seattle, is this the Super Bowl hangover? You lose a really tough game like they did against New England in the Super Bowl, and does it carry over this year? It kind of looks like it has, but I was joking with my buddies I was watching with that Cam Chancellor, the linebacker for Seattle who's holding out, is just sitting back and laughing, thinking probably going to get paid now because they need him. They need
Juji
him.
Fruits and shortbread cookies, saying, "I'm going to go paid now."
Smoking a cigar. But
he'll be able to afford the good ones, not the
not the not the bad
where
ones.
I'm going. Not the bad cigars.
How about that Tennessee Tampa Bay game? Two very different games for the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, it was also an exciting game for Tampa Bay's tight end, who's got a tough name to pronounce.
Safarin Jackson. I don't know. You're right. It is tough to pronounce.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, good game for Mariota. Good game for Mariota, and good game for Tampa tight end.
Yeah.
Who I sort of dialed in on for my fantasy league, so I'm pretty happy about that. I think he's gonna have a good year.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
I honestly, I was very surprised at how well Mariota played, which was good. I mean, they even said afterwards that they were running an offense that was very similar to what he had at Oregon. So, he felt pretty comfortable doing what he was doing.
Well, they also went against Tampa, so...
Well, that's true.
I don't know if that's a good litmus test yet.
Well, it's true, but even still, for a rookie to come out and play as well as he did, it's still pretty impressive.
Sure.
Even if the defense was, questionable. But, I mean, Tennessee's defense isn't that great, but Jameis Winston just could not get it going. So, yeah, like you said, we'll see how Tennessee does in the coming weeks against some better teams and see if Mariota's rookie dream season is meant to be or not. All right, so what do you say? You want to get down to these picks? Get these going?
Let's light this candle.
All right.
First two. If we were a Hot Shots movie, we'd be Part Deux.
Part Deux.
Which is two in French.
Right.
French. Or if you're French-Canadian, it's two in Canada, in provinces where they speak French.
And there's your French lesson for the week.
I never took French.
And yet you still know that information.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily mark it on my, job applications as an official language, but
well, you can
if they ask me what two is,
you can mark it as a skill.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Thursday night, Denver at Kansas City. Kansas City is -3.
All right. I'm going to preface by saying I had some interesting choices compared to these lines.
Okay.
Because I didn't understand why Kansas was favored, but they are. So I said Denver because I don't understand it.
You don't understand why Kansas is favored?
No.
After they annihilated Houston last week?
Wow. But they still didn't. They really didn't run the ball, and they really. I mean, their passing attack is still not solid.
Yeah. I mean, they're very solid at the tight end position.
Travis, they kind of have to be because they never have good receivers,
yeah.
or they never utilize their receivers.
Travis Kelce had 6 catches for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jeremy Maclin had 5 receptions for 52 yards. So, I mean, they were targeting him. It just wasn't for touchdowns. So that streak is at 20 games, by the way. 20 regular season games without a touchdown by a Kansas City Chief wide receiver. So let's see if it goes another one. They did really good. They did a really good job at holding off J.J. Watt.
Well, let me just interject and say it's been 20 games, and if you know of a line for whether Kansas City will throw a touchdown to a wide receiver, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Nick Hershey, care of No Punt Intended Podcast, P.O. Box 1234.
I would like to know if there's anything in Vegas or elsewhere that has like the line on like what
pizza, like the back of a pizza shop. They've got a little chalkboard up.
Yeah. Let us know if you know of anything. So I would like to see that. But
anywhere, an official line, just anywhere.
Yeah,
just tweet it at us, and I will send you the coveted 81-82 Larry Bird card. Ooh. That is your I don't know, sweepstakes this week, I guess that's not the right word, but you know
incentive.
What I mean. Yes, this is your chance, your weekly chance to win the thing that's acting as a paperweight for the last, I don't know. I think I got it like 8 years ago.
How is your card acting as a paperweight?
It just sits there.
But is it holding papers?
Sometimes it does.
Okay.
All it's right. More like if I run out of room, I'll put the papers under the card.
Okay. All right.
So it's more out of necessity than it is.
That's valid.
Anyway, we didn't get your pick.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of Denver. I mean, both teams, Denver and Baltimore, last week had very, very poor offensive games. It was all defense.
Yeah, and Peyton threw up a bit of a turd, so
yeah.
It's like, is he done, or is he, got stuff left in the tank?
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't want to jump on the Chiefs bandwagon just yet because they did play Houston, who was, aside from J.J. Watt, was starting Brian Hoyer and Alfred Blue at quarterback and running back. So I'm going to take Denver also at +3. I think at the very least it's a close game. I don't think they if they don't win outright, I think they at least cover.
Well, that might be where the 3's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
They're just giving it to Kansas just for the sake of
Yeah, so
the home advantage.
Yeah, basically, saying if this was a neutral field, teams, this game would be a push.
Push.
But yeah, I'll go with Denver as well. I don't know. I can see Peyton Manning kind of regrouping a little bit, and Gary Kubiak kind of refocusing his efforts on the offense there. And that defense was really good, so it'll be interesting to see what Kansas City can do against that next week.
If they push, do you think that this will have reverberations in the neighborhood of $100 million for the gambling community again?
I mean, I don't know if there's going to be that much riding on this game specifically.
Yeah, there's going to be this much riding on the line of whether Kansas City's going to throw a touchdown to a wide receiver.
All right.
Well, who cares about the game? We care about the prop bets.
Yeah, I don't know. That Pittsburgh New England was pretty crazy, especially with that. I mean, that garbage time touchdown is, what gave them the push. And Al Michaels basically came out and brought that up, saying it was a garbage time touchdown, and that bettors and sports books were going to be at odds or upset, I guess I should say.
No, stick with at odds. It's funnier.
Pun intended.
Punt intended.
All right. How about the over/under of 42?
Whoa.
I picked Denver.
I know.
So what are you?
But that's all
me
the
for?
Thursday night games.
Yeah, but we got to pick the over/under for the Thursday night game.
Oh, right. Over.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say under.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna say under. I think it's another matchup of two good defenses. I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game.
Well, according to what I'm assuming is sparse data, the over is being slightly more utilized so far.
Okay.
Question is how sparse.
I'll still take the under.
All right, you're among the 40% of people who will.
Okay.
So far.
All right.
On Tuesday.
So is that your favorite Thursday night game? By default.
By default, I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
TV hasn't started yet, so I can't, have a smarmy comment.
How about Houston at Carolina? Carolina's -3.
Tricky.
Does Brian Hoyer start for the Texans, or do they go with Ryan Mallett?
Him?
Ryan Mallett. Hoyer was benched late in the game, and Mallett was brought in on Sunday.
Tough. Because on one hand, it's Houston's tough defense against what can only be an anemic offense that just did well against a Jacksonville team.
Right.
Do you take a lot of stock in Carolina scoring 20 points and winning by 11 against Jacksonville? Or do you take more stock in a mediocre offense for Houston but a good defense? I said Houston.
I'm going to go Houston also.
I think it's smart.
I'm going to take them +3. As of yesterday, Bill O'Brien hasn't announced who his week 2 starter is going to be. Even if they go back to Hoyer, I mean, they've got DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver. If they can just keep getting him the ball, they'll be solid. And Carolina, their linebacker Luke Kuechly got hurt, or didn't he? Didn't he get hurt? Or no, it was concussion.
Concussion.
Yes. So
he's questionable.
Yeah, depending on how this week goes, he may or may not play, which would be a huge swing defensively for Carolina one way or the other. So,
sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston. I just don't know if Carolina has enough to pull this one out offensively.
No.
I think J.J. Watt's gonna have some fun. Although watching him chase Cam Newton could be entertaining.
Yeah, that will be a good matchup.
Yeah. How about the over/under of 40.5?
Probably under.
You think so?
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those things that the two offenses are just not... They're not good enough, and Houston's defense is too good, so... It's like, who are the weapons that Carolina even has anymore?
Yeah, I mean, they were targeting Ted Ginn Jr. as, he's the number one receiver. Greg Olsen, is the reliable tight end. So, I mean, and Ted Ginn's he's fast, but he's not the best when it comes to catching the ball, which is something you kind of need to be a wide receiver. But
that's in the job description. I got to catch the ball too?
It's pretty high up when you look at the description under responsibilities or requirements. So
it's at least like a first or second bullet point.
Yeah. I see this game going under as well. Yep. I think it might be one of those games where one team scores a decent amount of points and the other team is kept to just a few. And I don't know if it breaks 40.5.
And that's all you need to win, apparently.
Yeah, that's it. Next one, San Francisco at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's -5.5.
Tough line.
Pittsburgh
I think
coming
it's
off
fair but tough.
Pittsburgh be on about 10 days rest. San Francisco coming off the Monday night game.
I know, but San Fran did exactly what I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
They rebounded pretty nicely from terrible last year.
They did.
I mean, they're not. It'll be interesting to see what Carlos Hyde does against a defense that is less suited for the pass, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he surprised me. I didn't expect him to have the game that he did against Minnesota, so I was pretty impressed with the performance he put on. Do you take San Fran at plus 5.5 on the road, coming off a late Monday night game? And Pittsburgh on 10 days rest?
Well, the 5's only tricky because, what if they score one near the end and get a nice garbage time cover?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I can't see that happening. It's not like Pittsburgh's going to score. Pittsburgh, what'll probably happen, they'll go up big early, and then they'll just sort of play time control. And then San Francisco's going to get like some stupid garbage time touchdown. And they'll say, oh no, 5.5, that was too many points.
I don't know though. I'm too worried about that, playing late Monday night game on the West Coast, traveling east for a Thursday night game.
Oh Lord, these rules.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Here's my statistic to combat that. So far, the Steelers are 0-1 against the spread. Mm-hmm. So they've yet to beat the spread
after 1 week.
Wow, that's
all right. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I know.
I'm taking them.
Taking Pittsburgh. Yeah. Good choice. We're 3 for 3.
And how's that 45 over-under looking for you?
Definitely over. Pittsburgh is capable of scoring some points, and it's nice to see that they've got, I guess, a running back quandary when Le'Veon Bell comes back, because D'Angelo Williams looked pretty good.
Yes, he did. He certainly did.
Pretty good.
I'm going to take the over as well. Like I said, Pittsburgh's offense can score points, and their defense can certainly give up points. So I think that...
hey, we scored a lot. Gave up a lot. But we scored a lot.
If you give up one more than you earned, then that's a loss.
Yep, that's all you need.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over on that game as well. All right. How about this next one? The battle of the NFC South, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. New Orleans minus 11.5.
The battle of the NFC South. I don't think that's
division.
Something anyone will really.
Interdivision game.
An intra-division game, yeah. Much better suited.
Does Tampa really deserve 11.5?
No, it's too many points.
I tend to agree, because New Orleans didn't impress me too much at Arizona.
It's 11.5 points. The home team is coming back from the West Coast. Mm-hmm. The away team is what? That's like an afternoon drive. They all hop in like 3 vans or something.
Yeah,
maybe a bus.
Well, their mom's carpool.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and then they have sandwiches they eat on the way.
Maybe they have to turn back and get the orange slices.
Yeah, 11.5 is too much. I'm taking Tampa.
Too many points.
Yeah, that one week, one bad game against Tennessee. I'm not sure if they'll repeat that against New Orleans.
Well, yeah, and as we're I'm going to segue into the over/under. I'm picking the over, which is 47.5, because it's tempting to think that New Orleans will score a lot of points, but then maybe Mariota, because he will have a better chance.
You mean Winston?
What did I say?
Mariota.
I know. We're both saying the wrong things tonight, apparently, I guess. Winston, maybe he just gets more comfortable with the system now. He does have a good connection with Safarian Jackson, so maybe they just, amp that up a little bit.
Yeah, and he was without his big target in Mike Evans.
Yep.
Is he due back this week, or...
let's see what's latest.
All I just saw is that he was ruled out for week 1.
Can't read.
Week 2 status remains TBD.
TBD.
To be determined.
Dealing with
TBD.
a hamstring and is questionable to play week 2.
Yeah. So there's a chance he plays, which obviously will be a huge boost. And I think if he does plays, you see that line go down a little bit. But as it stands right now, as of this recording, 11.5. I'll take Tampa double digits on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
it seems like the action is going to push this spread down, because I think a lot of people are having the same I can't think of the word. They have the same thoughts that we do.
Okay.
So I think the action's going to get a little heavier on
I don't know
Tampa.
if that's a good thing or a bad thing if people are thinking the same way we do.
Well,
as far as
I'm just as good as flipping a coin. So.
Yeah. As far as the over under, I don't know, that 47.5 is pretty high, but I'm going to take the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in the game. I think Tampa, they find a way to make Jameis Winston feel comfortable early. Just maybe some short passes. Especially if Mike Evans is back, that's going to be obviously a huge help. So yeah, let's write that down before I change my mind. You got it? It's all typed in?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the box score.
You're waffling?
No.
All right.
I'm just thinking. I'm just making my battle plan.
Don't bother me. I'm a thinking.
Drawing my Venn diagram.
All right. Are we ready to move on to the next game?
Done. Yep.
Okay. Next game is
Battle of the NFC North.
Battle of the NFC North. Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota is -2.5 at home.
How are they favored? Why are they favored?
Honestly,
that.
I think they're just better than what they showed Monday night. I think that's why, and I don't think
Peterson didn't crack 40 yards.
Nope, but I don't think Detroit's good enough to be much more of a favorite on the road. Detroit scored a lot. I think they were up 17-0 against San Diego, and then gave up a ton of points pretty quickly to Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. And I think that's why Minnesota is the favorite.
How did you feel about Teddy Bridgewater?
I was not
confidence restored or no?
I don't know. I mean that first game back for Adrian Peterson, I definitely was expecting a little bit more, but he just never got it going. I think maybe after a week of full contact and game speed, he'll be better next week. And with Teddy, I don't know. They just need to figure out a better way to protect him, because he was getting rushed and knocked down a lot on Monday night. Yeah, I think they just got to open up their running game, and that'll help open up their passing game. That all kind of circles back around to Adrian Peterson.
So they can get some deep balls to Mike Wallace.
Yep. I just don't know who to take for that game, though. That's a tough
Detroit.
one. You're taking Detroit?
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump on the Minnesota wagon once more.
No. I'm excited to see what Amir Abdullah does, because I think he's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
And I'm excited that he's on both my fantasy teams, so that's a plus.
Incentive for you to take Detroit.
Well, I also have Teddy Bridgewater on my fantasy team, so there's that.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Minnesota. I think week 1 was just kind of a
fluke.
Yeah, not so much a fluke. It just took them a while to get things going, and after a week, I think they'll be able to kind of focus on some of the mistakes they made to correct, and Peterson will come out a little stronger next week.
Fair enough. Over-under is 43.
I'll take that over.
It's a pretty low over-under. I'm taking the under.
Why is that?
Well, the food for thought is the last 3 times that these teams have met, the most that they've scored in one game is 30 points. 16-14, 17-3, 14-13.
But Detroit also does not have that difficult front line on the defense. And
But this game is also in Minnesota,
right.
not in the comforts of whatever the dome is called. Didn't they rename it Ford Field? Wasn't it named something else?
Well, they used to have the Pontiac Silverdome.
Oh.
But that's
Super Bowl XL.
Yes. Yeah, I'll take the over. I think that's gonna hit. I'll take that.
All right. Your prerogative.
Yeah. Next one.
Ooh, the over is getting a lot of action. So.
Well, then I'm kind of concerned. But I said what I said.
Here's another little tidbit. Is that the spread is being bet 96% in favor of Detroit.
How much? 96?
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. And you're still comfortable taking that?
Yeah, they're betting for Detroit.
Yeah, but usually if there's all these people betting one way, it
Trap
tends to go the other way.
It's a trap game.
Yeah. I feel more confident in my Minnesota pick with that then.
Well, the 4%.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We got Arizona at Chicago. Arizona's -2.5 on the road.
The battle of the interdivision game.
The battle of the West versus the North.
The pizza versus, I don't know. What do they make in Arizona? What is their primary food export?
Tex-Mex? Mexicali?
I guess.
I don't know. Something Mexican related, I would think. Cactus.
If you know and you live in the Arizona area, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Nick Hershey, care of the No Pun Intended podcast.
Or just hit us up on Twitter.
But wouldn't it be more exciting just to get a piece of actual snail mail?
Well, you're not giving them a real address, though.
No, you just go to your P.O. box. Go down, have your Saturday morning, your coffee.
I'm like Santa. You just write my name on it, and they know where to deliver it.
You just let it flutter in the wind.
Yeah. All right. Who are you taking?
Arizona.
I will also take Arizona.
I think Chicago didn't look, great. And Arizona seems like they're consistent, I guess is the word.
Yeah, they did lose starting running back Andre Ellington for he's expected to miss the next 1 to 3 weeks. But they do have Chris Johnson, who seemed to play pretty well as the backup, and David Johnson filled in really well. His first carry was a touchdown.
David Johnson, Chris Johnson.
I know. Pick a Johnson, any Johnson. Yeah, and Carson Palmer was throwing the ball pretty well. John Brown had a great day receiving, so did Larry Fitzgerald. So I don't see, as long as Arizona can contain Matt Forte, I think they'll be okay. And they're they're on the road and they're the favorites, but that seemed to work out fairly well last week for most teams. So
right. As long as they can contain the run game, it'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big thing is
big point.
Keeping Forte at bay. How about the over under of 45?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd say under.
Yeah, I'm gonna say over.
Any particular reason? Just your gut?
Just a gut feeling. I think this will turn into a decently high scoring game.
And gut feeling's a good reason of any.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Any reason for your under?
No, just I don't know.
Okay.
Just didn't really have a particularly strong feeling either way.
Yeah, I mean I could see this as being, I don't know. I just get the feeling and Arizona's going to put up points. Chicago's going to put up a few here and there, get a touchdown or two that kind of bumps that score up a little bit. So I just got a feeling that 45 is gonna hit. So we'll see. All right. What's the next one we got here?
New England travels to Buffalo.
Ooh.
Battle of the AFC East.
Yeah, you want to talk about
these intra-division games.
You want to talk about surprising? How about those Bills keeping the Andrew Luck Colts at bay?
Yeah, that was a weird game.
Yeah, it was. Tyrod Taylor looked very good. Bills defense obviously just shutting down what was supposed to be a high-scoring offense in the Colts. Granted, I think it's one of those things where the Colts just maybe it's a fluke, or maybe they're still getting used to the new teammates, new system kind of thing. So, but what are your thoughts on this game? New England at Buffalo. New England is -1 on the road.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough because it's not like Buffalo's offense was, it's not like the offense did a lot of great things. It's just they just grinded it out.
Yeah, they did it. They did enough to keep the game close and let their defense do the rest.
Right. I mean, their leading rusher, you either say LaShawn McCoy had the bulk of the carries for 41 yards, or you say Carlos Williams had 6 carries for 55 yards. Mm-hmm. Percy Harvin has 5 receptions for 79 yards. It's not anything special. It's just enough.
Yeah.
It's all that counted, I guess.
Yeah, and Tyrod Taylor rushed for 41 yards too. So between the three of them, between Williams, Taylor, and McCoy, they racked up a pretty decent chunk of yardage against the Colts.
Right.
Frank Gore only had 8 carries for 31 yards.
Well, I mean, is that more of a consequence of them trying to limit his carries, or him not getting comfortable with the system, or him not doing well?
Well, I think part of it was everyone, coming in was, the Colts are going to be a pass-heavy offense. That was no secret.
True. Well, they've never had a really solid running back either.
Right.
For when Andrew Luck's been there.
Right, exactly.
So it's not like they've ever had to change their mixture or anything.
Right.
Pass first, questions later.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe it was because they got down early quickly that they just kind of got away from running the ball. They had a total of 17 rushes all game. Buffalo had 36. I mean, even Boobie Dixon got in on the action with a touchdown. So I don't know if that's something that the Colts try to lean more heavily on Frank Gore next week. But we're not talking about them.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get to them.
Anyway, New England, 1 point. I'm going to take it. The real question is, how are they going to cheat?
Well, LeGarrette Blount is going to be back, I believe.
Well, who cares? Because their running back system's a revolving door anyway.
Well, right, but at least when they have LeGarrette Blount, they seem to rely on him a decent amount because he's such a powerful running back. I'm going to take New England as well. And I think they're just going to eat up Buffalo with the short slant passes. Rob Gronkowski is always a problem to other teams, so I think they keep feeding him the ball. And
he's a problem when you don't put a defensive man on him.
He's a problem when you do put a defensive end on him too, but yeah, it would help to have someone covering him, and maybe that's something Pittsburgh learns. But
don't do what Donnie Pittsburgh does.
Yeah. I don't know. Belichick's game plan is always very, very good. So, and it'll be an interesting game for sure because that Bills front line is very good at disrupting the pocket. So Brady's gonna have to get rid of that ball pretty quickly, which will probably lead to, like I said, some slant routes or short comebacks. Over under 45.
Tricky. It's tricky.
I
think the garbage time is going to bump it over.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's tricky because the New England game last week was 49. The Buffalo game last week was 41. It's like that seems like a comfortable range for what this game's going to be. Just maybe a garbage time just gives it that little extra.
I could see that. I'm going to say over as well.
Good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, that Buffalo rushing attack and I think between the 4 or 5 of them they have that can run will kind of give some problems for New England and put some points on the board.
On the board. And that's where you need to put the points.
Yes, that's where they go.
Or at least that's what the rules are now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the rules committee is going to say next year, but...
Well, that's for next year to decide.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Next for us to decide is San Diego at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is -3.
Tough game. I can see why the line is what it is. It's a good choice.
Even after San Diego came back against Detroit?
Yeah, but, I mean, how good is Detroit's defense now that they've sort of downgraded?
Well, true.
Plus, San Diego's always been a pretty good offensive threat, even though they don't have a stellar running game anymore, but they still have Phillip Rivers and,
Well, and they kind of
San Diego
have
fast-paced offense.
They kind of have a running back by committee as well, with Melvin Gordon and Danny Woodhead, and they still have Brandon Oliver as well. Melvin Gordon had 14 carries for 51 yards in his NFL debut. I mean, there were a couple plays where he looked really good running the ball, and then they were just called back on, because of stupid penalties. But I just don't know, because Cincinnati's defense is pretty solid. Their offense looked really good running the ball last week. Tyler Eifert had a very good game at tight end, catching 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I think that would be tough, but I'm gonna go with San Diego because they're getting 3 points. I don't know. I got faith.
Points.
I like Phillip Rivers better than I like Andy Dalton.
No, it's because he's a ginger.
Not just because of that, but mostly.
No, Dalton just sucks in the playoffs. You can just take him in the regular season. I'm going to take Cincy here.
Okay. Any reason?
Yeah, I think they just look solid.
Well,
they haven't
keep in mind
changed
they were playing Oakland.
Yeah, I know, but maybe all the Raiders saw straight out of Compton. They're like, all right, Oakland, we got to amp it up. We got to not look so crappy.
Yeah.
Take these 4 wins, make it 5 wins. Well, I mean, we've got 15 other games that we can get 5 wins in 15 games. Sorry.
Right. All right.
They look solid. Cincy just looks too solid. They've
well,
got all
and
the parts in place.
Cincy might be missing quarterback Adam Pac-Man Jones.
That's fine.
Because
they still have the ability to score.
Yeah, but that's going to hurt their receiving cover. And Keenan Allen had, what do you have, 15 catches last week, I think?
15? Is that right?
I know he had at least that. Keenan Allen had, 15 receptions for 166 yards. Phillip Rivers spread the ball out to...
Keenan Allen, and that's it.
Well, he spread it out to 7 players. 15 to Keenan Allen.
I wish I was in a PPR league for that guy. But I'm not.
Yeah, Stevie Johnson had a touchdown in his first game with the Chargers. Ladarius Green scored while Antonio Gates was suspended. I mean, I just feel like the Chargers have a pretty good offensive attack there. So how about that over under 45.5?
Over probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Two
over as
high-powered
well.
offenses.
Yeah, these are both teams that can score. San Diego wasn't looking good early on last week, but they put up a lot of points pretty quickly.
They're going to chow down on that over-under like you and your buddies chow down on whatever normal fare it is you normally pick on a Sunday. Wings and burgers, right?
Burgers, yep. That's it.
Speaking of chowing down, I think an interesting matchup is the next one for Tennessee at Cleveland. Tennessee is favored, but boy, what a good quarterback battle. Well, an interesting quarterback battle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say good. They're not good yet. I think Manziel sucks.
I mean
Watching him against the Jets, ugh.
He's so scrappy. Like, he can extend plays and kind of keep them going, but he can't always make the throws that he needs to make. or
No, he's
or
not a good
sometimes
passer.
he tries to run when he should throw, or he throws when he should try to run. Like it's just a matter of making the right decision, which isn't easy because it's all about instinct. But
No, and their line's also not very forgiving either, so that
right,
doesn't help.
right, yeah. I mean Tennessee looked very impressive, like we talked about earlier with Mariota. He was nearly perfect in that game. Um, I, if they can keep it up,
Passer rating.
it was like 158 or something like that.
That is
I
near
think he only
perfect.
had he didn't throw a lot, but
13 of 16, 209, 4 touchdowns.
yeah, he missed, what was it, 3? So, it's
Passer
it's
rating
pretty
of
impressive.
158. That's perfect, isn't it?
What's that?
Isn't 158.3 perfect? I don't know.
I don't know. It was
Speaking of scrappy, that's a scrappy statistic if I ever knew one.
yeah.
How do you calculate it? Well, there's this complicated formula. Okay. Well, what's the range? It goes from 0 to 158.3.
So what would his passer rating have been if he completed those 3 incompletions?
158. There's a max.
Well, how can there be a max if he missed? I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's as far as statistics go, it's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Anyway,
make sense.
what wasn't stupid was his play. He was very comfortable. Tennessee ran the ball pretty well too with Terrence West and Bishop Sankey. So I don't see Cleveland being able to stop them.
I don't know. The problem is Tennessee almost looked too good during the first game.
Right.
I mean, did they sort of expel a little more than they wanted to? Is Mariota really that good?
Well, I mean, even
It's
if
in
Mariota,
Cleveland.
even if Mariota does what he did Sunday, minus the extra touchdowns, as far as like completions and yardage goes, if he plays average quarterback, they can beat Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cleveland's just not that good, and I don't trust Johnny Manziel.
Well, I don't trust him to be a good passer. I trust him to get some stupid touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be good for that, which is why I said Cleveland,
Ooh.
because I feel like it's going to be a scrapper game.
I'm gonna go.
If it weren't in Cleveland, I might have said something different.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Because then again, if the game wasn't in Cleveland, it probably would have been Tennessee -4, and then I probably would have just felt differently.
Yeah.
Because prime numbers.
So you would take Tennessee -4, but not Tennessee -1 in Cleveland.
I think if it weren't in Cleveland, it would be a different story.
All right. I'm not
Different
putting
crowd, different energy.
I'm not putting as much faith in Cleveland's home field advantage. So I'm going to take Tennessee. And I'm also going to take the over of 41.5.
Let me do some digging. I'll take the under. I'm just going to
All right.
fart around here and do some digging. We'll keep talking.
Talk.
Talk.
All
This
right.
is where we would plug Hug Fruit Barrels. Because I'll take a lifetime supply.
And thanks to our sponsors.
Of the tropical ones, because those are, I don't know why, but apparently you have to get the tropical variety to get the normal flavors. Here are the tropical flavors: orange, lemonade, fruit punch, tropical punch.
So their tropical flavor is tropical punch?
I guess.
That's just poor marketing.
Well, it's like the regular variety is the weird variety. It's like the,
What's in your
more
experience? What's the
unorthodox
worst
flavors as
hug
far as-
flavor
I
that you've had,
don't know.
or do you keep it pretty basic?
Yeah, just stick to the usual.
All right. And that'll do it for our
And that'll do it for our interlude of-
Ask Justin segment. All right, you want to move on to the next game here?
Yep.
We got Atlanta at New York. New York is -1 at home.
Ooh.
Both teams pretty impressive.
Atlanta's pretty excited that they won their
debuts.
game.
Yeah.
That's why I took Atlanta. I feel like they're not as bad as people might think.
Yeah, I mean their
guess.
defense looked really worn out in the second half, which allowed the Eagles to come back. Um, but yeah, their offense is really good when they just chuck it up to Julio Jones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
too dangerous.
but New York played very well against the Giants too. We
New York
certainly
is the
were.
Giants.
Well, against the Cowboys, whatever. You know what I mean. Against that team that they played
Against their
other night.
opponent.
Yeah.
Their assigned opponent.
Yes. Yeah, New York just played really well. They just kind of got a tough break. They had a terrible clock management at the end of the game where they should have either taken a sack or run the ball as opposed to throwing it out of bounds. But, what's done is done. I don't know if I
Tom
trust
Coughlin
Atlanta's.
wants to leave.
What's that?
I said Tom Coughlin wants to leave.
I don't know if I trust Atlanta on the road just yet. They haven't done well on the road the last couple seasons. They were always very good at home, but last year was not the case when they went on the road. So I'm going to take the Giants at -1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's 3 in a row we don't agree on.
What is happening? There's no rules. It's like
I should have
Thunderdome.
known since we agreed on the first however many.
Yeah.
4. And then, we lead
All
our
right.
separate paths.
Now, how about this line of
Over.
51?
Over.
You were very quick to answer that.
I know, it's a trap.
I'm going to go under.
Why?
That's
A lot
pretty
of
high.
points on the table.
I know. I don't know. I don't like that over.
Too high?
Yeah.
What if you teased it? Still too high?
I don't know.
What if you double teased it?
Well, let's see. The Eagles in Atlanta put up 50.
And the Dallas Giants put
Dallas
53.
Giants 53. Yeah. That's tough. And both defenses are not very good.
And Atlanta
Yeah,
looked like poop in the second half.
I'm changing it over.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Sucker.
talked myself into it.
I know. Now you're joining me in
Yeah.
the trap game, too.
Now it's going to be like a 10-7 game. They're going to have more punts than points scored.
No, you know what's going to happen? They're just going to score a bunch of touchdowns, but they're going to miss the extra points. Because,
Yeah.
why make that the more complicated portion?
Well, they got to do something. Otherwise, they should just get rid of the kickers altogether.
No, they don't. They don't have to do anything. Football has survived like this for years. My question is, why aren't the hash marks moved back then? The one on the 2-yard line, why isn't that moved back? Isn't that supposed to be where the extra point takes place?
Yeah, but they still do 2-point conversions from there.
I guess. Why don't you have a second hash?
Well, then there's too many hashes.
I guess. I also just noticed that they decided to make the 50 at the 50-yard line gold.
Right, because it's the 50th Super Bowl.
Oh, is that it? I thought it was like a... I don't know. Just to make it contrast more.
I'm pretty sure it's for the 50th
sounds,
Super Bowl, but
that sounds like
I could be wrong.
Reason. No, you're probably right.
All right.
You're probably right.
If I am wrong, use hashtag #AskNoPunt and let me know.
Ooh, good
Yeah.
idea.
There
Good
you
plug.
go.
Good organic plug.
How about this next one? Our last 1
Speaking
o'clock
of
game.
organic plugs.
Yeah. St. Louis at Washington.
Oh, I bet RG3 is going to be like, oh, man, I'm going to go against that team that traded all their draft. Oh, wait. He's not.
St.
playing.
Louis -3.5.
St. Louis.
Yeah. That defense is just too good.
They just beat a team that won the conference last year, and they're playing
Washington. Who may be without Deshaun Jackson.
Who probably is without Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. Is this a trap game, though? I mean, I feel like this is too easy.
Could be.
I feel like this is too easy. Who they have next week? They have the Steelers.
That's fine.
I don't know. I'm gonna stick
No.
with St. Louis.
No, everybody's on the same trolley that we are.
Yeah.
It's heavy bets on St. Louis.
How about
For
the
all
over
the
under
right reasons.
over under 41.5?
Let me alt tab over. Over.
Over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say over as well.
St. Louis is going to put up some points.
Yep. And Washington will probably get a touchdown, maybe. Little garbage time.
Garbage time. No, maybe.
If
the
you're
game will just be way out of hand by then.
If you're Washington, is every game garbage time?
It's a good question.
No, it's not.
Well, here's the better question: are they going to trade RG3?
I know they tried, and
I know they tried, but
nothing happened.
What
so
is week 6 is the trade deadline? Week 7,
I think so.
week 6?
But he didn't even suit up on Sunday. Yeah. I mean, I would think they'll try and move him before the deadline, but there hasn't been any murmurs of it recently. But yeah. And it's rare though for an NFL player to get traded mid-season. But I don't know, it'd be interesting to keep an eye on that and see what happens, but
all the telegraphs going
satellites are linking up in outer space. All right. So we both took St. Louis and we both took the over, correct?
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite 1:00 game?
Favorite 1:00. I think the interesting one's Tennessee at Cleveland. New England Buffalo is a good second choice.
Really? Tennessee at Cleveland is your surf and turf game of early Sunday?
Yeah, why not? It'll be interesting. I mean, you've got Mariota, who was really good, and then you've got Manziel, who's going to be the guy. It's kind of like it's time for him to poop or get off the pot.
I can see that. I'm gonna go with New England at Buffalo.
Good choice. But the real question is, what is your pillar game?
For the
game
one
you want to avoid at all costs.
For the 1:00s,
yeah,
probably of those games, Houston at Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't
really
want to see J.J. Watt chase Cam Newton around like a.
Well,
like a.
I mean, if that's the only reason, then.
Oh my God, I can't think of it.
Tom and Jerry.
No, yeah, no, it's like that. Benny Hill.
Well, I mean, if they play like funny English chasing music, then sure. But
well, yeah, then that's it.
I guess maybe the other one would be Tampa Bay, New Orleans. I'm not really too excited about that game.
Yeah, that's kind of a boring one.
Yeah. Last year Carolina won the division at 7-9. All right, how about these 4:00s? We got Miami at Jacksonville. Miami's -7. -7 in Jacksonville.
I know. -7. It's a lot of points, but Jacksonville just isn't good.
Yeah, I mean, Miami almost gave the game away to Washington, though. I mean, they wanted to.
Well, maybe they just haven't hit their stride yet.
It could be.
I mean, they've got Tannehill, they've got Greg Jennings, they've got Lamar Miller. Maybe it's just... But it always seems like Miami has this problem, though. They've got the good players. Their system just never gels.
Right.
Like, they've never reached their full potential. It's like, I think Tannehill is going to be all right, just not good. He's not going to, reach the apex that he should.
And they always seem to play down to the opponent's level.
That too.
They don't really blow teams out, so to speak. Having said that, though, I'm going to take Miami.
Yep, me too.
I think Ndamukong Suh is going to have a fun day against that Jacksonville offensive line.
Blake Bortles is,
Yeah, I'll take Miami -7. Over under 41.5.
It's rough because how many points is Jacksonville going to score?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, it's a smart choice.
I think this is like a 21-7, 21-3 or type game.
Probably like a 21-10.
Yeah. All right. So we both agreed on
leads
that
for a
one.
while. Yeah.
How about the next one? Baltimore at Oakland. Baltimore's -7.
Baltimore over. Done.
Even though Baltimore did not score an offensive touchdown.
That's fine.
Even though Baltimore lost Terrell Suggs for the season.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, keep piling it on. Let's reach the tipping point. Do something. How many? Here's a better question. Well, who are you taking? Let's answer that first.
I'm gonna take Baltimore too.
All right. How many points would they need to be laying to be giving up in order for you to think about it or at least swap? Like if it's 10, do you pick Oakland?
I was gonna say it would have to be in double digits.
Yeah, I'd say 10. I'd be like, I don't know.
And yeah, I mean, granted, Flacco was terrible last week. He 18 for 32 with 117 yards, but that defense of Denver was also a lot better than what he'll be facing in Oakland.
Yeah, and Oakland's always good for those stupid sneaky covers when it's double-digit points like we had last season where it was the, 13 or 14, and then you and I always say, well, that's way too many points, and then, of course, Oakland does their stupid little cover.
Right.
But now it's like that weird nebulous where it's not enough points and it's clearly more than enough.
Yeah. I'm going to take Baltimore.
Sweet spot. Track.
Over under 42.
What did I say? I think I said over. It's just going to be a silly game. It's like Baltimore's going to actually get their stuff in gear. Maybe Steve Smith has a big game because, it's his farewell tour. Mm-hmm. He's in Oakland. They'll give him Oakland. I don't know. What's their major export?
I don't know. Maybe some fans from the Black Hole section will give him like a mask, like a Raiders mask or some costume they always wear.
Some little knick-knack.
I'm gonna take the under in this game.
You don't think they'll score enough?
No. I don't think Baltimore's gonna score a lot of points, and I definitely don't think Oakland's gonna score a lot of points. So yeah, I'll take the under of that game.
Well, it's going to be one of those, if Baltimore scores a lot, then Oakland's going to go with. It's going to be Baltimore plays to their level. Mm-hmm. But, according to me, still wins by more than 7.
Yeah.
What do I know? What I do know is this is probably going to be my favorite game of the week, the next one we're going to talk about.
Uh-huh.
You know what it is because you see the sequence of games we're talking about.
Yes, it is Dallas at Philadelphia.
Do you feel comfortable after that game? Philly is favored by 5.5. I cut you off accidentally. Do you feel comfortable after that game on Monday?
Yes, I was not comfortable during the first half.
That's fair.
The whole timing was off for Sam Bradford and his receivers. There were so many stupid penalties.
Yep.
I mean, there was a bunch of stupid ones on Atlanta's side too, but especially with the Eagles, it's just stuff that shouldn't happen at a pro level. Granted, some of the calls were a little ticky-tacky from the refs, but some that might not get called otherwise, but got called that Monday night. But I don't know how I feel about. I mean, Dallas is without Des Bryant, so that's obviously going to hurt. And I mean, I guess if they had Dez, the line might be, would be a little bit more in favor
closer, right?
A little closer. I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm gonna go with Philly at 5.5.
That's fun because I said the opposite.
Okay.
Only because. Well, I think I don't have it up in front of me, but I feel like Dallas always plays better in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of the line is that the gambling community doesn't feel like Dallas has all of their players set in stone. They've got their running back by committee. Mm-hmm. They've got their wide receiver thing completely helter-skelter.
Yeah.
So they don't quite know the scoring potential.
Right.
Which is why they put it at 5.5.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, if Des Bryant was in the game, I think that would be a different line. But
right.
Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, he's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a broken bone in his foot.
Or even 5.5 points, if you can put it within 3, and it's
yeah,
perfectly reasonable for this game.
Yeah, I'm banking on the fact that the Eagles got it together in this. I mean, like they did in the second half against Atlanta. Granted, Atlanta's defense is worse than Dallas's, but if they can get that good balance and that the quick, like no huddle offense going, get those quick passes out for Jordan Matthews and Aguilar. I think that's something that'll really help. Sam
their option that
Bradford
they depend on is going to completely obliterate Dallas's defense.
Yeah, and they have Darren Sproles, who just annihilated Atlanta last Monday night. They didn't know what to do with him, and I think that's a huge plus for the Eagles. If they can't get their running game going, they just do little screen passes to him, and Ryan Matthews had a solid game. DeMarco Murray
They just run the same play, but then they just
yeah.
they have an option.
DeMarco Murray didn't quite have a big game that people were expecting, but again,
but he just got eaten up behind the line in the first half.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where he's on a new team, he's learning a new offense. The first week is going to be kind of tough, not just for him but for everybody. So I'm kind of hoping maybe this week they kind of start bringing that together and beat those Cowboys.
Are they going to make it over the over-under of 55 and a half?
I'm going to say under.
Yeah, it's too high.
Yeah, I think it's just too high for...
It's the highest over-under this week.
Mm-hmm. That's
the highest so far we've had this season.
Yeah.
By half a point.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if that would be the same line if Dez was playing too, or if that would be even higher. But
probably higher.
Yeah. I just think that's too high. I don't know if Dallas is going to score that many points, and I don't know if the Eagles are going to score that many points to justify 55.5.
No.
All right. What else we got here? Seattle at Green Bay. Or do we want to?
I don't know what to think.
What's your favorite 4:00 game? Because that's the Sunday night game.
Oh, Dallas, Philly.
Yeah.
Bad blood.
Least favorite 4:00.
Miami, Jacksonville.
Yeah, that would probably be mine too.
It's not an entertaining game.
I don't know if St. Louis, Washington would be that entertaining either. Other than
I can see it be entertaining.
Other than seeing St. Louis's defense, I don't know. But
either outcome for Miami, Jacksonville, I don't know that I'd care though. If Miami wins, who cares? If Jacksonville, it's like, well, who cares? They just beat Miami.
Yeah, but Miami's expecting big things this year.
Well,
I think that would kind of be
a relative big thing.
I think that would kind of be a gut punch for Miami if they lose to Jacksonville.
Yeah, worse than when they lost their Dolphin mascot Snowflake?
It might be close to that level.
Close.
Because Dan Marino's not going to walk through that door.
Yeah, but I mean, Julio Franco's still playing baseball and he's 57. What's to say that Dan Marino couldn't suit up again?
I guess, but
listen, guys,
he hasn't yet.
Well, it's a young season.
This will be a fun one. Seattle at Green Bay.
Tough.
Green Bay is -4.
I know, and it's a justifiable line. That's the silly thing.
Do you think Seattle regroups and gets angry?
I don't know. I mean, I think they do, but it's... Ugh.
Green Bay's defense is not as good as Seattle's, so Marshawn Lynch might have a little bit better game than what he had on Sunday.
Right.
Russell Wilson was sacked twice, I believe, and knocked down 9 times, which, for him is pretty frequent.
More than normal. I know, but maybe Green Bay's offense is just more than Seattle can handle.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to put up with Nick Foles and a lot of guys that just had great performances, but now they've got to go up against actual marquee great players.
So do
you, most notably Aaron Rodgers,
right.
but
so are you taking Green Bay?
Yeah. No, I'm taking Seattle.
Okay, I'm going to take Seattle too. I think that +4 is just a little too juicy not to take.
Yeah.
I don't know if they win outright, but I think they keep it within
at least
within
close.
4. Over.
Yeah, it's going to be probably one of those back and forth affairs where it's just not settled till the end.
Over under 48.5.
It's close. That's the thing. I think it just narrowly makes it under.
I'm going to say over.
Like a 23-24, 24-21 kind of thing.
I'm going to say over.
Which, according to math, is under.
I think it goes over that 48.5.
By a lot or a little?
By a little.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling it's going to be,
Just a little guy.
Seattle's going to want to put up points. Green Bay is very capable of putting up points. So even against a tough defense, I could see them getting a few touchdowns and taking care of that over.
TCB. Why?
Let's go last.
I wouldn't hate free yogurt forever, but
I don't know anyone who would.
I'm already pushing my luck trying to get free hugs forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Monday night game.
Monday night, the Jets at Indianapolis. Indianapolis is -7.5.
Too many points. But who knows? Maybe Andrew Luck will get pissed off.
That Jets defense is pretty good though.
They are.
I'm gonna take the Jets.
But I'm doing the same, but
Are we putting too much faith in the Jets too early?
I know. It's too much faith in the Jets, too little faith in Indianapolis.
I mean, Indianapolis' defense is not fantastic. Chris Ivory had a really good day running the ball for the Jets. Ryan Fitzpatrick did just enough, Didn't turn the ball over too much and made decent passing decisions.
Right.
Let their defense stay in the game against.
Well, plus they've got Brandon Marshall.
Well, right.
So
and they were also playing
that
Cleveland,
helps.
which doesn't have quite the offensive firepower that Indianapolis has.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Yeah. On paper.
On paper.
But
right.
I think
on paper.
I think Jets at +7.5 is too high. So I'm
way
gonna
too high.
go with the Jets.
Yep.
Over under
Wholeheartedly agree.
47 is the line.
47. Just narrowly over.
I'm gonna take the over as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be narrowly or not, but I think it goes over 47.
Narrowly or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be just. Yeah. It's Monday night. It's a national stage. You can't. You got
to put on a show.
Can't pussyfoot around and not score points.
Exactly. So we'll see if the Colts can come out and TCB this week against the NYJs. And that's it for my abbreviations.
Well done.
All right.
I'm glad you saved that for last because it's like, where do we go from there? Had you done that like the third game of the week?
All right, everybody. Good night. We'll see you next time.
And on a high. Shut it down.
Any last words for?
I already said shut down. No, I've got nothing.
Okay.
Some fun games.
Definitely some fun games. Yes, be sure to check us out on entertainmentbuddha.com. Lots of video game news released this week with the Tokyo Game Show. Some new trailers for games, new games being announced, all that good stuff. We're recording this on a Tuesday night, which means tomorrow is New Comic Wednesday. Justin, anything you're looking forward to?
Sure is. Well, it took 8 years, but we get Captain America White #1, so there's that.
Okay. Do you want to explain a little bit about that? I'm not too familiar.
Oh, you don't know the whole story? Well, let's see.
Start from the very beginning and take as much time as you need.
Well, they certainly did with this series. So 8 years and 3 comic stores ago for me, the creative team of Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb was doing another one of these series. They've done one for Daredevil, Hulk, Spider-Man. It's the same team that did Batman's The Long Halloween. So they announced this series, they do a 0 issue, and then they cancel the series. And then it becomes just a butt of a joke, like, oh, yeah, we're just waiting for series that'll never be done, like Captain America White.
Huh.
But now it's actually coming to fruition. It's going to be a story from Captain America's past, which is what these typically are.
Okay.
But it's like 8 years in the making.
Interesting.
Like he might have had the script for these stories under his Larry Bird paperweight, and he just forgot. And he cursed the day that he couldn't give away his Larry Bird card to some lucky listener who,
There's coffee ring stains on the back of the paper, and there's a piece of paper, piece of the corner torn off for gum, All right.
Probably like a Y2K, helpline or something.
He had it saved on a floppy disk, and now he can't bring it up anymore. So basically, it had to be rewritten. So be sure to check all that good stuff out. And always catch us on entertainmentbuddha.com for your geek needs, whether it be video games, comics, movies, TV shows, anything that suits the geek world needs. We have it. That'll do it for us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at NoPuntIn, the number 10 DED. And we'll be back next week with our week 3 picks. Justin, take us out.
Shut it down.